What is going on, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the Attacking Third. I am your guy, Pat Bernard. Alongside me is my man. I always do this wrong. It's my man, Austin, the A Train. He's in the house, 18 down, and of course, special guest in the house, you guys. He is a the man, the myth, the legend. He is the goat of the press box. Check him out all the time, my man, JD Walker up in the house. JD, what's going on, brother?
Doing okay. It's been a heck of a week for all of us. I covered
And,
Seton Hall last night, so back in union mode again today.
yeah. Listen, believe it or not, I think there's a snowstorm that came through because the union actually made a move during the all season. I think that's why we got hit with so much snow, because that's a shocker in itself. But and then of course they had some preseason play. But you know what? To you guys, listen. This is I've had this conversation with my wife because at this current time, this would be the most difficult part of the show. This is going to be the most difficult part of the show for me because at this time, me and Austin prepare to go live. During we prep these shows, we get ready, just like we just pretty much did before going on air. And our man Gus, this is our first show without him. He's calling the game from. He's watching the show from heaven. And he's just relaxing in the afterlife, and he's going to get chill. But this is the hard part because this is our first show without him, and he was such a great guy. And again, there's nothing more you can say about Gus because he loved doing union soccer. He loved talking union soccer, and he said, one of the things about Gus, he told his sister, this is his hour. This is his work. This is his man cave hour. This is work to him. So he went like it was like the Bat Cave. He went in there and was checked out on reality of life and came into talking union soccer. And he loved his passion was so strong for union soccer. It's just soccer alone. Knowing my guy from my whole childhood. I mean, everyone here in America loved football, but that household was soccer, soccer, soccer. Soccer was uno in that household, and it kind of opened my eyes to soccer. And Gus is one of the guys who opened my eyes to union soccer, and alongside with Austin here, they both opened my eyes to soccer, union soccer, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a whirl. Why not? It's Philadelphia. It's a team that represents Philadelphia. I'm going to give it. You know what? And there's a lot of old school cats around here that say, they're 4 for 4 and all that stuff. But you know what? I think a majority of people have come to notice we got 5 teams in this town, and everyone start to say, we are a 5 for 5 team, and that's like a lot of newer cats. There's still some old cats who are still channel to only watching the 14s. But you know what? With the Union playing good soccer, consistently playing good soccer, and always making a playoff run, eyes team towards the look at the Union. So that's always a good thing. But you know what? Gus did bring, and Gus and Austin here brought soccer lighting to the Edge of Philly sports family, and these guys started getting a lot involved. So JD, I'll go to you. What was your interaction like with Gus?
He was. I had only recently started chatting with him a little bit through you guys towards the end of this past season with the union. And I put our group chat together with all the streamers from my channel, Stream Punk Soccer, EOP, and Michael and Jose over at AAT Sports, and I put that together because we were trying to do an MLS Cup live reaction, and
Yes.
I thought it'd be a one-time thing, but it ended up kind of being a great place for us to collaborate and workshop ideas, and that's been fantastic, and it's going to help all of us, with the upcoming season and beyond, and all kinds of other ways that we can interact. Like I'm like you, Pat, soccer was not my first sports love. It was actually basketball. Big into football. I recently moved to the Philly area from New Jersey, where I spent most of my life. Don't kill me. I
Mm-hmm.
know that's not. But so while we have some disagreements among the big four teams, let's say, and some of our rooting interests.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never really got into the MLS and into soccer that much until I got down here. Like I went to a high school and a college without a football team, so soccer was the fall sport. So I was in it.
Right.
I was into it a little bit. I worked at WSU. That I went to Seton Hall, so we got so I worked at the radio station there. So I broadcast a few soccer games, but I barely knew the players. Actually, Sasha Kilgerstan was at Seton Hall the same time I was, and
Wow.
yeah. So those were some solid teams, but I was never, but the Metro Star, but growing up, the Metro Stars and MLS in general was always a joke. So I never really bothered with it. Then in 2019, when I started coming down here, I met a Delco girl. So that's what brought me down here.
They'll do it to you.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. So here I am now, and the Union are right down the road. And I went to a game in 2019. It was before a professional event. Like it was almost like a job networking thing because I actually studied sports management. I was trying to work in sports, so it was actually oddly enough, my first experience with the Union was kind of like a corporate event, meeting some of the people that worked in the front office at the time. I don't think Ernst was around, but a few other ones, Dave DeBuscher, real nice folks. And it was a Red Bull game.
All right.
That was the game where they went down 2-1 in the first half, and Ilsinhos came on and scored 2 goals to win. And that game atmosphere and just how it was like one giant party. I wasn't in the. I was under the screen. I wasn't on the river end. It was kind of like the corner in those seats. I said, this game and this atmosphere is nuts. And this is,
Mm-hmm.
I like to say that that Union games are a fun type of party versus Eagles games are more of the, I like to say it's like the frat party, let's get drunk and break shit type of party.
Yes.
It's a much more chill vibe, at least until things go wrong. It is still Philly after all.
Yes.
But without any kind of affiliation, I was immediately hooked, and I was immediately into the Union. I'd catch some games here and there, and then Scott and I started Stream Punk, and he was covering NYCFC. And he said, "Do you want?" He said, "Do you want to start covering the Union?" I said, "Sure. It's very convenient for me, and I'm getting into this team. I'd love to give it a shot." And I hadn't even really done all that much writing until about now, just coming up on about 2 years doing this, and
Yes.
like I immediately got hooked, for as a creative outlet, and it's been fantastic. I've worked in radio, I've worked in sports, on and off over the years, and I now have I have a 9-to-5 corporate job like everybody else. None of this pays anybody's bills, but it's been an honor, and it's been great interacting with you guys. And just a few weeks ago on one of your episodes, I think it was an episode with Austin. It was just you and Gus, where Gus referenced my line in the group chat at one of the acquisitions, where I said that Ernst's style of how he shops around for players is like how I we've all struggled where we have. All right, it's too much to go to the movies with friends. Let's go to Walmart, grab something out of something random out of the $5 DVD bin. It
Yes.
might be good.
Yes.
It might suck. We don't know. It's $5. Screw it.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
but sometimes it seems like Ernst Tanner takes that same
Yes.
strategy
Analogy. Yes.
to player acquisitions, and you can find some good stuff in there. You can also find crap. It's fine. But if that's the only place you're shopping, you're going to miss out on a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I love that. But just that really got me. Like, wow, Gus was entertained enough by that, and he's a lifelong soccer guy. Where I'm pretty new to this, relatively speaking. So to get that kind of shout out and that kind of respect from somebody who lives and breathes the sport was a huge honor. And so the day that the Pat that you told us the news, I'd been out with my partner and our chosen family, doing a belated Christmas. We went out to the diner for lunch. They had the Real Madrid game on, and Real Madrid Barca game on, and I go into the chat, and I was about to make a comment about the game. I see a message from you. I said, "Oh, he's probably watching this game too, and has something to say." And then you say that the Gus is no longer with us. I said,
Yeah.
"Oh," as if I wasn't already having an anxious and like just something felt off that day. I was just weirdly anxious. I mean, I've been going through a lot lately, so that's happens.
Right.
Like my, with all the stuff with my mom and everything.
Right. Right.
So I heard that, and I went right back to hanging out with them, and we exchanged Christmas gifts, and our nephew, 5-year-old, I had gotten him a stuffed Fang.
Okay.
So he plays soccer at his school. So I said, all right, I think I can work on this one because his parents aren't really into sports. His dad's a gamer. His dad's a massive gamer, doesn't know anything about sports. So all right, maybe I can be sports uncle. And this kid is starting to knock people around at the daycare. Like, all right, play soccer, get the aggression out that way.
Yes.
So I gave him a Fang, and my mom had this ceramic dragon that she painted at an arts and crafts class.
Okay.
So gave him the dragon, and I just heard the news, and it just came to me right there. I said the dragon's name is Gus.
Oh, that's nice. That's JD. That's awesome. I appreciate it. And you know what, JD? Like, you know what? You kind of brought some shed in my eyes. But before I get into what I'm about to say and get Austin's take on it, because it's been like I said, it's only been 3 years that we like really locked this down, and we worked prior to doing shows, just doing 4 for 4. But I mean, again, credit to Austin. He wanted to do this, and like everybody's on board doing 4 for 4, and Gus was the guy. Gus was the guy. I said, you know what? I'll do the soccer show and nothing else. I said, you sure you don't want to talk? Like, no, I want to do soccer with Austin and nothing else. Like, I'm going to stick to, he's going to stick in this lane and not go anywhere else. And, and again, like, that's the beauty part. I like working with this family and work because if I need, like, okay, everyone knows I'm a beat report for the Wings. We're all over the place. I could go, Austin, Gus, can you guys write a Flyers article and the Sixers article? And these guys have it done for me the next morning. Like, it's already processed, getting ready to get processed. Like, that's the beauty part about this. But let me get in some of the comments here. Mike Pereira is checking again. Sorry, guys. Oh, the Don. I'm sorry. I don't call him Miguel. What? Shame on me. Shame on me. I gotta kiss his ring when I see him. He's the Don. If I say that again, Miguel, he's going to backhand me. Let me check myself. He might dump my face into the frying pans at the Union game in the press
With your
box. I
knees
don't want
broken.
disrespect. Yes, I don't ever want to disrespect the Don, so I got to kiss his ring. Sorry. He goes, guys, sorry I couldn't join the show today, but glad guys continue for Gus and keeping the memories alive as always. Big Al's checking in. Big Al always says Gus left the attack in third in good hands. He will be missed. Absolutely, Al. Man, I'm getting a little choked up. My man Phil from Training in the AM. Positive advice in your ways. Oh, thanks, brother. That is the mayor of Kent Square, the mayor of Kent Square. And
Oh,
yes,
she's gonna
yes,
see this and she's gonna find you, Al.
yes, yes. Al's got a great sense of
Hey,
humor, a
his
great
wife and
person.
your partner may know each other, dude. Be careful.
Yes. Daniel Barrett checking goes, yo, Daniel is always known for that. Dennis, speaking of the devil, are going to be our official soul guy. Says good morning. What's up, gentlemen? Good evening. Oh, good morning. What am I talking about? He goes. I'm glad this show will carry on and keep going. Gus loves soccer. Loved talking about it with everyone. Yes, he did. And of course, the Don. I don't think I can reach that iPad. Hey, listen. The Don knows how
You
to
can
reach
hop
things.
on the table at the press box.
Listen, I know exactly.
Just
First of
gonna
all,
get
I
the,
know.
little punch out,
No,
dude.
I know exactly what the Don does during the press box. He hangs at the bench. So what he's going to do is when I'm least expecting, he's going to climb on the bench, put me in sleeper hold, drag me down.
And after
Yes,
that, it's
yes.
only dreams, dude.
It's only dreams I'm seeing. And then
Yeah,
he's going to take me back at the DJ booth and leave me right there and go to
yeah.
sleep. He's
Or
not
he'll,
even going
he'll
to wake
just
me.
suplex you out the window
And then
Yeah.
and of course
out of
his
the press
his
box.
his bodyguard doesn't like me enough as it is. Jose Nunez doesn't like me enough. So he's going to sit there and go like this. He's going to flick a cigar
Yeah.
at me like three
What'd you do?
times.
What'd you do to Jose?
Just I say hi to him.
Just
He
be
just
around.
no, just being around. He, no, I love him. I love Jose. He cracks me up. But my man goes like this. He shoots me a look.
Yeah.
He's got that Don. He's got the Don Vito look where
Dude,
he just
the way
he
I
just
see
shoots me a look.
the way
I'm
I
like,
see
dude, you want to
Jose,
punch me? Go right ahead. I
the way
mean,
I
do you
see
need to let
Jose
this
versus
out?
Pat, man, if looks could kill, Jose would be a murderer many times.
Yes. The guy's got to ripple my how I drink coffee. He's got a problem with how I present myself in life. No,
He's a ball
I love
buster,
him.
but he's a
Yeah,
ball
I
buster.
know.
He's a nice guy.
Yes.
So
He's got a heart of gold. He's a noble
Jose,
one. He's got a heart of gold.
Jose and I are both from the same school of thought that if something don't look right, always follow the money.
Oh,
Always.
well, guess what?
Always.
That's how we look. That's how you got to look at sports. Look at life.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he definitely like I said, he was the godfather. Like I said, he's the bodyguard of the door. You know what I mean? He goes, I owe a lot to Pat and Gus. They trusted me and gave me the opportunity on Devra Sports, and because of that, they trusted me to put me. And I'm headed down. Because of us, he's heading down to Tampa to go cover the Royal Rumble. Thank you, Gus. You will be missed. Yeah, listen. And you know what? It's funny again because and that's one thing about Gus. Like me and him, kind of, it was, if it wasn't for Gus, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be with you guys. I wouldn't be anywhere with EOP or anything because again, before we came over here with Edge of Sports, we did Devro Sports. Of course, it's like a neighborhood that we grew up in, and I said to him, I said, Gus, listen, man, I want to do a sports podcast because we were big and calling in the radio shows and I said, sports radio shows. I said, listen, man, instead of talking like 2 minutes, like I want to do this. I want to do what those guys could do. I know I got the passion and drive to do it. I said, let me go do that. And he was down for it. And he said, all right, how do we get started? And, one thing led to another. We did we were at one studio, we moved on, and then we started working with, that we started working Crack Bell, and then we moved on to with last out with Vinny Quinn and John Barcher, and we did some magic over there. And then of course, this guy here said, "Hey, listen, they start, they use it like as a mention," and he's like, and John Bart, John Barger and Vinny Quinn said, "Go for it, go do it." He's like, the funny part is because if they're a team that's going to carry out, you're going to constantly be in the playoffs. He's like, I wonder if they're going to surpass the Flyers, and here we are. And if you look at that championship run that the Union had 2 years ago, the TV ratings went up 20%. And I'm not saying, you know, and that's because I feel like a lot. Listen, if you're going to bang on the drum, at some point someone's going to listen and want to know what's the noise about, right? So again, we're constantly bringing talking soccer. You know, like I said, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but hey, listen, I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to see what these guys are talking about. Maybe I could get me and my kid. Like I said, you usually want to get your kid involved. But like I said, and credit to you, JD, because once we got the and thanks to our guy Al, who got us hooked up the credentials and saw the passion that we had for it. Once we got in there and I started meeting you, I met Jose, I met Miguel, the Don. Stop saying that. Once I met the Don, Miguel, Big Dave, Skyler, JP from PHL, and I met all you guys, and that's like we see each other.
Todd Lewis,
and all the guys, it becomes like a family.
John Tannenbaum and Matt from the Inquirer,
and Tannenbaum. Right, and thank you, buddy.
And
Nico,
another guy who's been real nice. I'll give a shout out to Mosembi, the writes on African players.
Right, and we became a family. Like again, like we see each other every Saturday. We were seeing each other, and that's with this show. So it's like we spent like I hate to use my works saying, but it's true. Like we spend more time with each other than we do really with our own families. And when you think about it, it's kind of true. Like and so when unfortunately Gus passed away, like it hit me harder than most of my own family because like other than aunts and uncles, because I saw Gus I talked to him every day. I saw him every Thursday. I mean, again, it's like it was like losing a real, and it's just like man. And then like when I got hit with the news, when his sister called me up and gave me the news, I was just like, no, like and she, again, like you said, the world came to a standstill, and like and it, like I said, it hit me harder than anything. So and again, to the guy next to me, I mean, he worked with them every Thursday. These guys coming up with, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to boom, boom, boom? And then, like you said, they went to do an all Barcelona versus an all England team, right?
It was going to be all time. We were going to draft our all-time starting 11s, Chelsea versus Manchester United. We were going to do our EPL clubs facing off against each other. And then after that, we were going to do La Liga. Ironically, you brought up you were watching a Barcelona-Real Madrid match. My La Liga team is Barcelona. His is Real Madrid.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, like I said, man, it was everything to him. Soccer was his world, and I'm glad I got I found a counterpart for him, and I said, you guys just do it and just go for it, and and they did. A couple more comments are coming in. Miguel goes, "I'll put you into
the river."
Yes. You'll just see a 200-pound man just floating behind the river. That's it. That's all. And he goes, Joe Sullivan, my main man. He goes, hey guys, not a soccer guy, but checking in to say hi. Gus was a great guy. Yeah, and listen, again, Joe Sullivan used to be with us, but still, again. He has his own podcast with the Solid Squad, but yeah, look, at the end of the day, we're all friends. I mean, we're all hoping that we can all succeed in this and get to the goals that we're trying to reach. Exactly. So we're all supporting one another in some way and fashion. So again, and the hard part for me is like Gus was so excited about he was going to be the guy to go cover the Union on opening day. He was so excited. And I was getting, really pumped. I was like, Gus, me just being a slob. Wait till all the food you get. I said, and he's like, dude, is that all you talk about? I'm like, yes. I said, bro, I said, it's not your typical hot dogs and burgers. You're talking about some gourmet meals. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. And I said, and I was just telling Austin and Gus, I said, go to a Union 2 match. Nobody's there. And you have all the food to yourself. I love going to those things.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
I
just see
said,
Pat going in there with like takeout boxes to
yeah,
like that actually that actually happened one game because
really?
for the League's Cup match with Red Bull that was postponed because of the weather delay. So they are already made up all the food and everything, and it's just like we got to throw half this out, and like as everybody's running for cover, a few of them are like, "Hey, grab a box and take some stuff home."
Right.
So I'm running in the pour, and of course my car's in the shop, so I gotta wait for my partner to come pick me up, and then she gets there right as the rain's starting. People are looking at the funnel cloud behind me, and I'm just trying to run for it with my food bag, to get in the car before all hell breaks loose. And it was a harrowing drive home, narrowly narrowly missing some. It was like a dresser or some piece of furniture that had gone out into the road on 291. We swerved around that. That was scary, but it's only been 2 years I've been covering this team, and it's going into the third season. I started midway through 2002 with the press coverage. I was there for the Eastern Conference Finals. I was in the locker room after, which that was an amazing experience. Just the smell of victory is a thing, and it smells like stale champagne and beer.
Yeah,
sprayed literally everywhere. The real MVPs were the clubhouse attendants that had to hose down that place afterwards.
So, and so, like I said, like JJ, I'm just listening to you, and one thing about Gus though, and too, like he brought soccer to a lot of people's eyes. Like again, like Austin Gus, and you got these guys know that they know their soccer. They know soccer, and it's like when everyone goes to, it's like and like again, you mentioned about you just covered the team for 2 years. Like I said, like everyone knows the story. Like me, Austin, Gus, like we were just here, like on our phones doing shows for like 15 minutes, just talking. So we go from that to the press box, like that to me, and all the people that we met, just the ride that we've been on. I look at it and I turn around after and I go, we made some moves. Like, we did some things. Union soccer is getting taken a little bit more serious. And again, Austin, a Big Al who checked in earlier, he checked us out. He said, because I told him, I said, I got guys who cover Union soccer for you. And he gave it a listen because he's not going to send me in there because I sound like an idiot, but he's listened to knowledgeable men. And he said, I could get them hooked up with credentials. Let me, come over here. And, it was one led to another, but we looked at, again, we met, and one of the speeches I had, I said, I don't know who doesn't know the attack in third and net press box. Roberto Vince. Every time Roberto Vince is in there, the first thing he said to me was, how's your man Gus making out? Because, they're both Peruvian. They're,
Roberto's Mr. Smiley, right?
Yeah. Yes, he is Mr. Smiley. He's got a beautiful set of white teeth.
Yeah.
So he goes, but I'm like, this is a TV, personnel checking in with me, coming and not just me, but asking, how's Gus, how's the team? But like I said, I'm like, and I just remembered like the first conversation I had with Roberto, and it was like I'm sitting at the press box. He comes, he goes, hey, can I sit here? I'm like, come over. And he goes, we're sitting there, chatting it up. He goes, man, he goes, how's your man Gus making out? But listen, I gotta get ready to buzz out because I gotta do the Flyers post. But Austin, what was your take with Gus?
Yeah, so I started doing the podcasting with Pat and those guys back in 2019. I didn't get a chance to meet Gus until about a month and a half in. I finally got a chance to do a show with him. And, we didn't really talk soccer at first. but his passion for just sports in general in Philadelphia was intense, and I loved every second of it. Just loved being able to get to sit across the table from him and chat, Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, Eagles, everything. And then I started, hosting my own shows and, going on to, trying to squeeze in union talk as often as I could because, the passion that I had for it continued. My brother and my father were founding season ticket members when the club first formed in 2010.
Nice.
And I, my father passed away closing in on 4 years now. And I sort of have carried that passion on, sort of carrying on his legacy. And now, with him gone now, it's, I'm carrying on another one. What started for me as a quick little 15-minute segment that I could squeeze in every other weekend when I was doing my shows, whenever I could, turned into, like Pat said, we were working with Vince Quinn and John Barchett over at Last Out Media. And, they came to me and they were like, look, dude, you should take that 15 minutes and turn it into 30 to 60 because the team, from what I've been hearing, is starting to do really well. And, there aren't many people that are talking about them. So if you can get your finger on that pulse, the faster you can do it, the better. And the first person that I thought of, because I remember him talking about how, because we would every once in a while have a back and forth about English Premier League and stuff like that. So first person I thought of was Gus. I was like, dude, come on. You know what we have to do now. Like, we have to do this. And Gus was like, look, dude, if we're serious about this, I will do nothing else. And I was like, perfect. This exactly. I was like, that's all I needed to hear, bro. Let's do it. Went to Pat, brought up the whole idea. And again, it initially started with, it was me by myself, pretty much same style setup, webcam, little microphone.
So when did you start attacking third? How long has that been?
It was the right as the tail end of the Supporter Shield season was wrapping up. Right,
so end of 2020.
Tail end of the 2020.
That was when you started with the 15-minute segments.
That was when I started doing the show exclusively, just doing the Attacking Third as its own show. And then from there, after that season concluded, we were like, we should, expand a little bit more on it and have it be a bit more of a thing. And it wound up, originally it was every Tuesday night, me and Gus, Tuesday nights, 9 p.m., spending an hour talking about it. And then we shifted over to Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
And then our merger, Devro Sports, merged into EOP. And like Pat said, shout out to Al, man. He was like, look, dude, I want you guys to be a part of this. I may not know much about the sport, but I know that they're doing well. And your show is something that I want to have on our network. And from there, it became what you're seeing today. This is a culmination of a dream from two men from two completely different walks of life, just putting their passion out there, wearing it on their sleeve on a consistent weekly basis. And I will continue to do that, not only in my father's honor, but now in Gus's. And like I said, I only got to know him for about a little over close to 5 years, but I felt like, the term, sports really bring people together is very true. He was like a brother to me, even though it wasn't a long time that we, got together. It was once a week. We would, throughout the week leading up to it, we would share each other like silly memes, like trashing on Tottenham or anything like that. Like just because, I'm a Man United fan, he's a Chelsea fan. So we both hate Tottenham. It was fine.
Yeah.
So we would just have those back and forths.
Just like how we can commiserate in how much the Rangers suck.
Exactly.
I'm a Devils fan, but that's the one thing that we have in common is screw the Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it's literally exactly what we were doing. And then it's strange because just like you said, something about that Sunday just felt off. And I was sitting around, like I had just gotten my whole setup all put together the perfect way. I was like, yes, everything's coming together perfectly, but something still doesn't feel right. And I was sitting here. I'm a huge nerd. I was playing Magic the Gathering on my computer, and I get a call from Pat, and I'm like, probably got some. I was like, I literally in my brain was like, who did he manage to get for the show this week? And then I pick up the call, and he told me that Gus was gone. And I was literally, I want to say I was probably like second or third turn in my game, immediately conceded, shut the game down, shut the computer down, and stared at the floor for about 5 minutes. It literally felt like a part of me was taken. And, you know, it's still kind of like Pat was saying before we went on, we were chatting a bit beforehand. It's still feels like it's like a dream that I'm hoping to wake up from. And he's still here, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna boot up FIFA if you want to get your ass beat." Like just dropping the gauntlet on me, and because that was the one thing I wanted to do with him was I was waiting for because I have I have an Xbox and I have the Game Pass and everything, and I'm waiting for EAFC 24 to drop, and I was literally going to stream us playing it and talking soccer for as long as we were willing to put up with each other, honestly.
Yeah.
And I still plan on doing that when it does drop. I mean, I have FIFA 23 right now, so I mean, I might end up doing something.
Yeah. But I'm not as big of a gamer, but Scott is a big gamer.
Yeah. And the way
so you can lots of other guys from the guys from Stream Punk are much bigger gamers than I am.
Oh yeah, dude. It's honestly, it's that and sports are like the two main things that have been mainstays of my life. Like I just started playing that like Pokemon knockoff game called Pal World that everyone's getting all crazy about right now, and I can understand why people don't like it because it's literally just Pokemon ripoff. But I digress. When I made my post about Gus passing, and this is the main thing that I will always stand true to, is that without him here, it definitely won't be the same. It really won't. There was something about the connection that he and I had that I don't know if I'm going to be able to find another co-host like him. And it's tough, more than anything, I don't feel sorry for me, man. Like I'm a 35-year-old man. I've lost many people. I'll lose many more. It's his family more than anything. They lost a son, a brother, a father, a husband. And that's the part that still is really still really gets me. But yeah, this time slot will never be the same. I really do hope that this show is still in capable hands without him here. But his spirit will always be with us. His legacy will always live on, regardless of the direction that this show takes going forward. But more than anything, the love that he brought for the game, the passion that he had for it, that will always remain. It always will, no matter what. And I want that to be the main thing going forward, is that, the show is about the passion for the game more than it is the team. And that was kind of what we always wanted the groundwork to be for this. And I feel like his passion and his energy for the sport, for the Philadelphia Union, even for his team back home in Peru, they just won their championship. They beat their rival in their stadium, and they were so salty about it that they shut the stadium lights off so that the fans couldn't see them celebrate on their pitch. And I will, the second the Philadelphia Union win a championship, I want to be there for him.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what trophy they raise. When they raise it, I will be there no matter what, 100%. The memory of Gustavo Seminario will live on, not only through his family, but through this show, through the people that he has touched in his life. And I guess we can just do it now, JD. Gus.
Yeah.
We love you, man. This is for you, bud. Sláinte. we are going to take a quick break so that I can recompose myself. Give you guys a couple little words from some of our sponsors here really quick. I'm gonna, get the waterworks away, and then we have a preseason game that we have to talk about, and the Philadelphia Union made a signing, so we will discuss those on the other side. We will be back in just a moment.
All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now, because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com. All right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Firm. Call 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your right.
Welcome back.
Yes, sorry. Because I was expecting a bit of a longer break, but I guess Pat and I weren't on the same wavelength on that one, but that's on me. Philadelphia Union kicked off their preseason schedule, actually technically on the 21st, if you want to be 100% serious about it. Played Flamenco, and I believe that was a 2-0 loss, if I recall correctly. The one thing that I will touch on about these preseason games is if you're not, the club that you're wearing on your shirt right now, you're not going to see preseason matches on Season Pass, unfortunately. It's something that a lot of us in the group chat have noticed. But there was an early penalty for Flamengo that they wound up converting on to put them up 1-0, and they got their insurance goal. I want to say it was somewhere in like the 60th or 70th minute, somewhere in that time frame to just put the game away. I think the only starters that we saw for Philadelphia in that match were at least in the initial 11 were Wagner, Glesnes, and Bueno, I believe, if I remember correctly from that post, because it was literally the way that I followed it was a thread on Philadelphia Union's Twitter page, and I mean, could that match have gone a lot better? Absolutely, but it's still, you were what, 13 weeks removed from your season ending, and Kai Wagner had probably been in training for like 4 days.
Yeah, like they have they even technically signed a full roster yet? Like there's still, I mean, we just to segue into the signing that they did make last week, but there's there's still going to be players coming in during training camp. We're a month away from the season starting. But just with such a crunched off season, it just feels like a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and according to you actually made mention of Jonathan Tannenwald of the Inquirer, Jim Curtin does believe that Alejandro Bedoya will return to the Philadelphia Union. So I mean, there's a strong possibility that he might not get a preseason in. So you're probably going to have a guy who, as much as Gus would be here screaming why right now about that statement, I kind of understand why you would want to bring him back, because I
agree.
Yeah,
bring him back as this. You saw in Leagues Cup when he was coming back from injury, that Bedoya was a great help off the bench, and scored late goals in 2 games that really helped swing momentum for the Union. So in that type of a role, a final 30 off the bench, Bedoya would be great for at this stage of his career. The captain playing a full 90 anymore, not so much, but for the locker room leadership and, a spark off the bench, Ali absolutely can still provide that. Personally, I think Andre Blake should be the next captain.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with that. I mean, I would feel you would go with one of the longer tenured players on the club, and Andre Blake is that guy. Not only that, he's also a very solid leader for this team. So I mean, I feel like it's the proper choice. But you actually did make it the perfect segue. Just a minute ago, we did make a signing. We signed defender Hamir Berdesio on loan from Bolivian top flight side Oriente Petrolero. He was called up to Bolivia's U23 team, but was left off of the final roster for the CONMEBOL pre-Olympic tournament. The deal for the 21-year-old defender runs through the 2024 season and includes a purchase option for bringing his contract over to our side. He's primarily a right back, so that gives us a bit more depth behind Bizo and Harriel, which I think is great because you're going to have Bizo getting a call up for the Cameroon national team, Harriel getting his first look with the men's national team senior side. So that we're possibly going to have to be able to fill that gap whenever necessary. And I feel like Berdesio is definitely a very solid choice for Philadelphia to make. I don't know the exact figures of the deal, but to get that option to buy him outright is definitely a solid choice for Philadelphia to make. And I just wanted to know what were your thoughts on that, JD?
This is another great low, $5 DVD bin, but you find some great stuff in there.
Yeah,
but I was just counting the stars on that crest for Oriente Petrolero. I think I count 11 here, so clearly that's a club with a long, rich history. So coming out of a club like that, and if Carranza is still here, having another young player from South America, maybe they can develop some chemistry. The January window for the Europe transfers closed yet?
I believe it closes on the 27th, if I recall correctly. It's either the 27th or the 28th, so there's still a bit more time to be able to possibly grab another player.
Okay, so there's 2 more days for incoming and outgoing transfers, but probably if anything happened, it would have happened by now.
Yeah,
as far as Carranza goes or anybody else.
I did hear a report. I did see a report earlier in the week that Carranza personally turned down an offer from Borussia Dortmund, the Bundesliga side, which would have been huge for him. And honestly,
he turned down an offer from Dortmund?
Yeah. I am extremely. Wow. I
wouldn't have not blamed him one bit if he took that.
I was blown away because you look at some of the players from from the American side that have gone over there, just from our hemisphere that have gone over there. Pulisic started there. I believe Ricardo Pepi spent a bit of time there. Gio Reyna's there now. Not only that, but just the other players that from America.
It might be tough for him to get time over there. He would
have to work really hard to get some features. But
with a squad that deep, it might be tough for Carranza to crack that lineup yet.
But it would have been a very big career move for Julian. And honestly, I feel like even if he just gives it another year here, or even up until the summer transfer,
or even half a year with the mid-season window.
Yeah,
if he leaves mid-season like Castellanos in New York,
yeah.
Although that was an intercompany transfer, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, just hearing that he turned that down blew me away. Like one of the top flight German sides,
Yeah.
And of course, Bundesliga.
Olympiacos made an offer in the midseason window last year,
Yeah.
I believe. And
Yeah,
the
I remember
Union
hearing a report
I
about
think
that.
$8.5 million, I think, was the number I heard for the transfer fee that the Union turned down.
Yep. Well, it all would have just lined Jay Sugarman's pocket, so I don't think it would have made much of a difference if we're being honest. I mean, it would have hurt more than it would have helped to put it
Right.
bluntly. Yeah, I mean,
So he has 1 year left, and then he would go on a free. So okay,
Yep.
so that means we're going to go through another season or possibly half a season with more of the same as we just went through with Wagner.
oh yeah, and it's I feel like
Except I don't see Carranza staying in MLS at all beyond this coming season.
Honestly, I'm like you said, we just like how we had been saying with Carranza for a long while, we were kind of surprised that I mean not with Carranza, with Wagner, we were surprised going into last season that Kai Wagner was still here. We were expecting him to be transferred out in the winter window before last season even started. And then he was here, and then we were expecting it to happen mid-season in the mid-season window, and it didn't happen. And now you're getting all these questions about Julian Carranza, and I feel like we're just in that same vicious cycle of like, is this guy going to stay? Is he going to go? Like, where would he go? Oh, here are rumors about places that he wound up turning down, and like Olympiacos and Dortmund already, just to start off this list of clubs that Carranza has turned down is just unreal.
Yeah, like that. It's almost strange. Like why? Like I'm not in his very expensive Louis Vuitton shoes, but he's nor am I anywhere near as good looking. But but to get two offers like that, and while I believe that I don't know. I'm still learning the transfer process as far as negotiating with the transfer fee versus the player contracts, and also I'm still learning that game. As I said, I'm relatively new to soccer, but I'm putting my damnedest into learning the financials of it. And so for those two big offers like that, it's. Carranza is really, he's voting for Philly, like to stay here at this point, or he's holding out for some insane betting on himself and hoping for an absolutely ridiculous number next year.
Yeah, which is kind of what I feel like he's doing. Is he's really taking a big risk betting on himself and seeing what he can get when the midseason window opens, because he could. From what he did last year, the only way to go for him is up now, because he had a very low year in terms of the numbers that he already has had for Philadelphia. So if he can get a good start to this season, the numbers could only go up for the summer transfer window when that opens up. And so there's a very strong possibility that he's more just taking that bet on himself, like we were just saying, and just trying to get a bit of a better offer, which I feel like he could definitely get if he puts forth the right push and gets the juices flowing to start the year. If he can get off to a hot start, those numbers are only going to go up.
Let's make a run in CONCACAF Champions Cup. Out of all of the various international competitions, as I heard one Reddit user refer to them as side quests during the season. Personally, CONCACAF Cup, or whatever it's called now, Triple C. That last year was the tournament that's the trophy I want. Not that I don't want an MLS Cup trophy, but as far as like the non-MLS Cup trophies, CONCACAF Champions Cup is the one I want.
Yeah, if you can raise that Champions Cup, everything becomes different. Because the way I see it, I wouldn't even need an MLS Cup. If I can win the Champions Cup, I don't need an MLS Cup.
Personally, I think that's a bigger accomplishment than winning MLS Cup.
Yeah, when you stack up the competition that you're going to get in the Triple C, it's going to be a lot tougher to be able to battle through that.
Yeah,
and when you look at the fact that Miami's preseason right now, they put who was it that they played? They played like a whole national team for their first preseason friendly.
I have not since I'm in basketball mode. I haven't put in too much to.
I believe it was like El Salvador or something like that. Let me double check.
See, looking it up now.
Yeah, they played El Salvador to a 0-0 draw on the 19th, and then they go in and then they play Al Hilal on their next one. And then they play again.
Well, the Saudis dropped it. Well, the Saudis dropped a very large bag for that game. So
then they dropped an even bigger bag because after that they get Al Nassr, which is Cristiano Ronaldo's club.
Yeah, this is just the only black jersey I own. So the only black soccer jersey I own. So
I told my wife, I was like, if there's 2 jerseys that are non-Philadelphia Union jerseys that I want, it's the Austin FC black and neon green jersey and the pink Inter Miami jersey, just because I love the look. Like, I'm unfortunately not wearing it today because I just got it out of the wash. For Christmas this year, I got my wife got me a pink hoodie that on the back in dark blue letters just says Hambo on the back. It's my nickname, my gamer tag on Xbox and stuff. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever gotten. And like, to be able to get, because like I have, whenever I play FIFA and do the career mode thing, the back of my jersey is Hambo, and then the number 26, which is my birth date. So I just every single team that I play for, it's just Hambo on the back with number 26. And now I have this hoodie that on the back is just Hambo with the number 26. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing. If I can get that on an actual jersey, I don't need to buy anything else. Oh, yep. I mean, Kyle, I am not surprised with how quickly Overwatch is declining right now as a game and how bad Blizzard is looking with a lot of stuff that they've been doing behind the scenes. I kind of expected either China or Saudi Arabia to get in on buying competitive Overwatch, because Philadelphia used to have a competitive Overwatch team. There was a whole league with like teams across the world, a bunch of teams in the US. Philadelphia became another team in Shanghai. They moved the Philadelphia Fusion from Philly to Shanghai. So not surprised, honestly. But yeah, I mean,
it's not exactly leaving town for Kansas City or San Francisco.
Yeah. it's not like watching the Syracuse Nationals become the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah. And fun Philly sports fact: the Philadelphia A's have won the most championships out of any league sports, out of any of the teams. Five.
Yeah, and
despite not being here for the last 70 years, no other team has won enough to pass them.
The NBA league record for points was done by a player on the Philadelphia Warriors, which are now Golden State. Embiid dropping 70
and playing in a game in Hershey Park of all places.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Like Embiid 70 is a Sixers franchise record, and that's dating back to when they were the Syracuse Nationals. So like, it's insane. Yeah, Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard so they could just sell off different parts of Blizzard to make a bunch more money. Yeah, I mean, of course they're outsourcing the tournees, and the follow up comment by Kyle, did know about the.
It's a corporate catch. It's a corporate catch and kill tactic. Buy out a competitor, split it off, and sell off the pieces.
Exactly. Yeah, and honestly, like, if people are still playing Overwatch competitively and still enjoy that game, more power to you. But you're literally just playing Overwatch 1. Overwatch 2 was supposed to be multiplayer PvE stuff, which is like a bunch of players on the same team playing against AI. And that was the main pitch for Overwatch 2. And they never delivered on it, canceled the whole plan for it. They're like, but characters, and everyone ate it up. Let me bring this one up because this is
Yeah, and the Union had another preseason match against Austin FC. That was a 1-1 draw with Carranza scoring a goal.
Yes,
that had a few more starters, but
I feel like we'll probably get our full 11 in the final preseason match. We'll probably get a bit of them in the one that's coming up. I believe that is. I think is it tomorrow or is it the day after? I forget. I normally have like graphics and stuff available already, but my brain's been mush for like 2.5 weeks.
I'm poking through the team website now, trying to find it.
We play NYCFC on the 27th on Saturday.
Yes.
And then Cincinnati February 9th, New England February 14th, and then we start up.
Oh, great! Another New England game. That just to
we start up first round of Champions League against Saprissa, an old friend.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's this season. It's going to be great. Embiid getting that record hit something straight out of an era where certain players just stood out against. Yeah, that was watching Embiid work in that game was insane. I literally was like I was so hyped. I was like the Embiid Wembanyama matchup. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait. Granted, Wemby finished with 33, but Embiid had, I think it was 51 by the end of the third quarter. I was like, if he stays this dominant throughout the fourth quarter, he can hit 80.
Yeah, there's the Kobe 81 game would be on track with that.
Oh. And that was against Jalen Rose, who in his day was a really staunch defender too.
That was the end of Jalen Rose's career, but still.
that was I think the final game of Jalen Rose's career. I don't think he played again after that.
I got to look that up, but it's close. It was close. I don't remember if that was before or after he played for the Knicks, which is usually where most careers go to die in the NBA. So
it's like going to Florida if you live in New York.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, I'm actually very excited for this season. As even though not much has happened with this Union roster, yeah, you'll get a fistful of those coaches' decision games for Embiid going down the line. It's honestly to be expected at this point.
Speaking of NBA, you're going to see the NBA, the worst part of the NBA coming to MLS. Load management for Messi and friends down south.
Those two words hurt my soul every time I hear them, but I understand why.
But that's exactly what what we're gonna see with Miami this year. I thought it was interesting, and I kind of like it about how it looked like they have a lot of the interconference matchups stacked towards the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Which I like that. Kind of reminds me of of college basketball or college football, where you're playing the cupcake games at the start of the season to get your legs, and to do that against interconference teams where something like, let's say a game during an international break in April against Orlando doesn't bite you in the ass as much if you're playing against Seattle.
Exactly. Which was one of the things that I liked about when Philadelphia first released the schedule for this upcoming season. All of our Western Conference opponents happen in the first month and a half of the year. Once mid-May hits, we don't see another Western Conference opponent the rest of the way. It's all interconference from there on out, and I think that's great.
Also, because everybody, players, everyone says there's too many games. We need to fix this. They tried with U.S. Open Cup, which is now probably just going to be a JV tournament. As far as players are going to suit up for MLS teams in that tournament going forward.
Which MLS tried really hard to get that to drop down to just all the second teams, and U.S. Soccer was like, hell no. You do that, it's crazy.
Yeah, but the Union will be playing, but it's going to be Quinn Sullivan and Holden Trent.
Yeah, Quinn Sullivan and Jeremy Raffanello up front for Philadelphia Union.
and that's what U.S. Open Cup is going to be. Why? Money.
Honestly, I'm totally fine with that.
I'm okay with that. I didn't even know about the U.S. Open Cup game against Minnesota last season. I didn't even know when it was until after it happened. Not like I could watch it.
Yeah, I had totally forgotten, and I was literally looking at I was checking my notifications on my phone, and I was like, oh shit, Union are down 1-0 right now, still early. Put the game on, and I wound up watching the rest of it. And we got that was the Kai Wagner putting the team on his back game.
Yeah, and wasn't that like 8-7 or 7-6 in penalties, something crazy like that?
Yeah. We wound up losing in penalty kicks, and to get us there, Kai Wagner scored 2 goals from off of free kick sets. Like I want to say about 10 to 15 yards out of the box.
Yeah,
and he just blasted those home.
Yeah. But but as U.S. Open Cup is part of the and Leagues Cup are part of the bigger conversation about fixture congestion, as they've called it. Which is a nice way to say there's too damn many games. Yeah. So one way to alleviate that is that you're only playing within your own conference for the tail end of the season, which minimizes travel.
Yeah,
having the long coast to coast trips at the beginning of the season. Where at that point in the season, for those that are in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, I personally think the focus is more on those matches, especially once you get into the later rounds. The Union have a tough draw with that. After Saprissa, they I believe it would be Pachuca in the next round, come off a bye, and they won Liga MX last year or the year before, I think.
Last year.
Yeah. So I remember, and the Union actually played a friendly against them in 2 years ago. So that was in something I was in the press box for. I was one of like 4 writers there in the entire press box. So I got to go back and dig up that article if that matchup happens to see how many of the academy players from both sides who played the bulk of the minutes in that game will be playing in that matchup.
Yeah, and honestly, right now, here's to hoping that when that Saprissa matchup comes around, there's no like late minute hard tackle on a guy in a spot where you shouldn't be going after him like that. But who knows?
It's CONCACAF, so somebody's just going to get clobbered anyway.
It's going to be
one of my, since I was never on a show with Gus. Like we were talking it was a viewer talking in the comments, or I filled in on this show a few times, and thank you for having me on. Although I realize as I'm doing this, like this is slightly strange, but like I'm honored to be here this week of all weeks. Sorry, lost my train of thought with that. And but yeah, with CONCACAF, my favorite. But one of the things that I talked with Gus about in the comments of one show was my favorite quote from Damian Lowe that I heard about CONCACAF Champions League last year. Mm-hmm. What Damian Lowe said after the first game: "Welcome to CONCACAF. It gets harder." Is what he said to what he said to the other guys in the locker room.
that is 100% true, and I agree with that to the
Liga MX play. That's that style of play. It's like the NBA in the '90s. Players just knocking the crap out of each other, and the refs just shrug and look the other way. Keep it going.
Yeah, you'll just get that look of like, well, you're gonna get up, or you're just gonna lay there.
Yeah. But did you die? Did you get up?
Yeah. Like one of the things that I've seen recently is all these clips from people playing like I mentioned earlier, EAFC. Like these clips is like it'll like in quotes above the clip it'll be like, be careful how you're playing, you're on a yellow. And then it's just a slide tackle where like the cleats are like up at like the guy's midsection as the dude comes in and just takes the guy out. And I'm like, yeah, that's CONCACAF in a nutshell.
Yeah, basically.
It really is. And honestly, like as rough as those games can get, those are the kinds of games that if you watch and you're like a fan of like old school like hockey type of play, just like Kyle just said, it's like Wayne Gretzky hockey back in the day. Like you can just watch people just get crushed and nothing happens.
Yeah. I'm a Devils fan, so that's one of my formative childhood memories is watching them send Eric Lindros into orbit.
The Scott Stevens and Ken Danico glory days, man.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Stevens, Niedermeyer, Danico, Brodor.
My gosh.
Yeah, sorry, skate with your head up.
Yep.
And,
If your head's
and-
not up, your head's gonna be looking up eventually.
yeah, and that's when Scotty sent Lindros into orbit.
Him did it to Paul Correa. Like Stevens had a body count, man. That guy was a monster. I loved watching him play.
It was
He was one of my
the
favorite
Sports Center
defensemen
top
growing up.
10 that they did of Stevens' 10 greatest hits. One of my favorite clips.
Every
And also he'd probably be
it should have just been a top 10, and they were all number one.
Yeah. He'd be suspended every other game now.
Oh yeah.
He's NHL.
The third time it happens, you're like, look, dude, you gotta go. Like, because he just and it wasn't even like the way he hit was clean. It's that he was so long that his strides would get him going really quick. And he's just a big body, so he would just meet somebody, and it was like just running into a wall.
His skates never left the ice, so it was clean.
It was exactly what you wanted to see from hitting in that time. And now today, everyone's like, "Well, where's the penalty on that?" Like, I would literally, it's like, no, absolutely not. Just let them play.
Yeah, and once I watched the first few CONCACAF games and got used to that, and then saw more of that in Leagues Cup, I said, because at first I was just like, "What the heck is this?" And they're not calling anything. Is this, is any Philly fan usually goes to, oh, the refs are screwing us, and then you see, but eventually you see, oh no, this is just how the style is. But
just how they do.
You can adjust to that once you realize that.
Yeah.
But that just leaves players like Gazdag getting clobbered, and that really that added up and really took a toll on him, especially through the course of the season last year.
Oh yeah, and it's only going to get tougher, and that's the craziest part about it is we have the entire Champions Cup to worry about, and the other tournaments that we've been included in this year to go along with the regular schedule again. But like you said, getting those longer
and you have the
trips out of the way
continental
early.
and you have the continental tournaments, and you have the Olympics, which will be U23. So so that means Nate and Jack are gone for a month, but that's during Leagues Cup. So
and then you also have the Gold Cup as well this year.
Yeah, It's Copa America.
That's what it was. Copa America.
Copa America, and is Gold Cup this year or
no? Gold Cup is next year.
Yeah,
it's
yeah, but you have the Euro.
Copa
the
this year, Gold Cup next year, World Cup the year after that. So it's just if you're a soccer fan on this side of the hemisphere, this 3-year window is it. Like, this is the time to be.
You know what? Here's another challenge for Gus. I'm feeling a little, pledge for us, because this has been a goal of mine and Scott's at Streampunk. So I'll share this with you guys. We can get that as we grow our channels and our sites, and the union and soccer in the U.S. gets more popular over the next few years. I'll see you at the World. I want to be at the World Cup.
Hell yeah, man.
In a press box.
Definitely,
And
I'm all about that.
I think that the opportunity is there for us.
Definitely,
and that's a goal that we can all work for. The biggest tournament in the freaking world.
Let's do it. Time to put ourselves on the map, not only here in the States but worldwide. This 3-year window is it, and we're gonna do it for Gus.
To Gus, to our families, and
to Gus, to everybody out there watching, to you, JD, thank you so much for being here.
To your dad, to my dad, looking down on us,
yes,
we got this.
Folks, we love you. We'll see you next week. Cheers.